Better.
There's a lot of folks with great ideas, a lot of folks that come and say, I have something that will help. And sometimes that doesn't always prove to be the case, and so the school district or a school gets put into a precarious situation of not wanting to turn down help, but obviously time, resource, very important in terms of serving our students. So when we find practices that do work, that we see the data, that we see the proof, the evidence that it's making a difference in the lives of students, we want to support that. We want to try to support that from a district level, but when we have community groups, Charlotte Post helping us with that, that's amazing. And it's part of an evolving strategy in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools that we hope to see more of.
Our voices joining forces can move mountains and spur innovation in serving this fragile slice of our community. It is this novel approach where we link complementary expertise and capacity that will enable more robust, collaborative support customized to the individual needs our educational specialists identify.
I want our school district and our principals and our teachers to have that same approach. Take each student, personalize what they need. What do they do well? Where do they have areas that they need to grow? And create a plan of progress for each and every child. I think that's what every parent wants. That's what we're striving to do in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, which is why we say every child, every day for a better tomorrow. And so to have partnerships and organizations like Charlotte Post to help us with that, so that when we find things that will meet the needs of an individual student, to have a partnership, to have some sort of group help us meet those individual needs, it's priceless in terms of what that means when it helps a student walk across the stage to get a diploma.
Our desire put to action will expand awareness and access to the proven developmental programs the Foundation pinpoints that in many cases are under the CMS umbrella, but could use an extra push in the form of capital or human resource to reach more students.
So many people that come to us offering help want to tell us what we need, and so I think our principals, our teachers are going to welcome the approach that the Charlotte Post Foundation is really modeling for us. It is an approach as we cultivate more partnerships in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. We will be asking to follow a similar direction, and I think that's the best kind of partnership, because at the end of the day, it's going to ensure more students walking across the stage with a diploma in hand.
Strengthening our youth, shaping our community. The Charlotte Post Foundation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to continue with the formal portion of our program. I hope that you are enjoying your meal and continue to do so as we move into our presentations. You know, I've been here a number of years, and it's always great to be invited back. And I have the honor of introducing Mr. Gerald Johnson, who organizes this event every year. And I thought about this year, I thought, you know, what do we really know about this man? You know, I think that, you know, we know he's affiliated with the Charlotte Post, but I thought, you know, do I really know him? So I wanted to give you some more details about him in my introduction tonight. Gerald Johnson is a man who was born right here in Charlotte, and he has dedicated himself to this community ever since. He is a graduate of West Charlotte High School and Lincoln University, and then went on to earn his master's at Villanova University in mathematics. And so I think that's a dichotomy, you know, mathematics, publishing, English writing. He taught for a time at Johnson C. Smith University, yes, and then worked as a programmer and was eventually promoted to vice president at Bank of America. But for more than 25 years, he's been doing what we know him to be doing today, working tirelessly as the CEO and publisher of the Charlotte Post. His vision helped to bring about the Post Best Awards, recognizing the best and inspiring all of us to do better. Please welcome Mr. Gerald Johnson.
Thank you all for that great and last introduction you'll ever do for us today. Thank all of you all for coming out this evening again for another great program. We have some great honorees that we're going to do tonight. But one of the reasons you're here is to help us with our fundraising for the foundation. And I'm going to take a different approach tonight. I'm going to test some of the teachers here this evening. If you are in the educational field, elementary, middle school, high school teacher, please stand. Or preschool, please stand. Don't be shy, stand up, come on. I know you're in here. Even counselors, I want the counselors to stand too, don't sit. If you're involved with the young people, I want you to stand up. There's some of you over here too, don't be shy, because I'm going to call you out, go ahead. There we go. There we go. Now, for those of you that are standing, I'm going to ask you this question. And I want you to remain standing if the answer to the question is true. How many of you in education know that by third grade, we can pretty closely identify children that will be probable dropouts by high school? If you believe that, remain standing. Thank you. Well, stand up for just a few more minutes. If you are, and this is not to the group that's standing, this is to the rest of you. If you are a billionaire sitting in this crowd, please stand. Don't be shy. No, being. I have security out there, you won't be mugged. Please stand. Nobody standing. Okay, the group that was standing first, the teachers, basically just made the point that we make every year when we come here, that there's a group of children that we can identify as early as third grade that aren't going to make it. And the problem with that is, if they don't get any assistance early on, we can basically tell you what's going to happen to them. That's what the Charlotte Post Foundation is all about, dealing with those kids that are marginal so that we can give them as much help as we can. Now, Jeffrey Canada runs a great institution in New York, made this statement. Oh, well, let me first say that the children that he takes early on, takes them through middle school, high school, elementary school as well. And they graduate, sends them to college, they do a great job. He made this statement: without a billionaire support, he couldn't be nearly as successful as he is, because he can't spend all of his time and effort raising money because it would take away from his programming. And that's his whole point about, in order to be successful in this field, if you don't have a billionaire funder, good luck. And in a program where he was with another set of individuals that were educational professionals with foundations, a person stood up in the audience and asked him a question specifically. He basically said, "Sir, I have a community organization where I'm trying to help kids and do some educational things, but I don't have a billionaire backer. So, Mr. Canada, could you tell me or give me some advice that could help me?" He said, "Good luck, next question." He came back to the gentleman after everybody laughed at him, and he said, "No, you can make it, but it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a steep climb because it takes a lot of money if you want to be successful educating marginal kids. It's going to take a lot of money." The Charlotte Post Foundation this year decided that we didn't have a billionaire backer because none of you would stand up. So we don't have a billionaire backer. So what we decided to do was have a strategic plan where we looked at what we were doing. We called in a very high-class consultant, another reason why we don't have any money, and came in and basically surveyed this community, talked to a lot of funders, talked to a lot of community leaders, and talked to a lot of other organizations that were in this field. And basically came back and told us this. He said that people know about your program, but they really don't have an understanding of what you do, and they're confused about how the paper and the organization, they're just confused about that. So until you figure out a new branding strategy, you're going to have trouble. My board, with those of you that's on the board, would you please stand so I don't take the full heat for this? Don't be shy, though. You like the billionaires. You don't want to stand up either. Stand up. There you go. There you go. Okay, you can be seated now. So basically, what we're doing now is strategically trying to set our next level of participation in this arena. Because, again, we don't have any billionaire backers. Raising money is becoming more and more difficult. We have more and more people coming into the arena trying to provide programming, more and more funders jumping out of the arena, trying not to give any money to it because they shift priorities on a regular basis. And so we're going to have to figure out how are we going to fund this work. We've proven that we can be very successful at doing what we do, but sustainability is where we are now. We have to be able to sustain what we do. The other big thing they told us that if you don't have a billionaire backer, but you do have a good program, you can't continue to go to corporate funders. You're going to have to start knocking on doors and dealing with individuals. We will be ringing your doorbells because we're going to continue to do what we do, and we're going to figure out other ways to raise the money because, again, what we do we feel is very important. So my board members are putting on their hiking shoes, and we got a steep hill to climb, but we're going to do it. I'm confident we're going to do it. Thank you all for coming out. Enjoy the program, and have a good evening.